All right, folks, welcome back to Three's In. Bobo here. So, last weekend I happened to tune in to the 250th anniversary parade in Washington, D.C., and I thought it was magic. I just really enjoyed watching that parade. Made me feel proud and patriotic. It just was a good feeling. And of course, it took me back to parades I had participated in. As I reflected upon it the last couple of days, I think on active duty I only participated in 2 parades. And I'll mention those here a little bit later in the presentation here. But my first parades were all in ROTC at Bowling Green State University there in Northwest Ohio. And those were by and large the annual pass and review for the president in the spring. So we began practicing for this thing in the fall of any given year, and then the actual pass and review took place, like I said, in the spring. They did not go too bad, as I recall. Actually, they went pretty well. We were scared out of our minds to screw it up. They could get away with that in those days. The 4 that I participated in, actually, I'm thinking it might have been only 3. 65, 6, 7, and 8. I'm not sure we actually had one in 68 because the SDS was getting very, very active and very, very nasty. And if memory serves, in 67, they took it upon themselves to plant crosses in our parade ground, representing those of us who would be killed in Vietnam. And the football team pulled the crosses up and started beating the shitheads. Oh, did I just inadvertently refer to SDS members as shitheads? I'm not sorry one bit, because that seems to be the most accurate way I can think of describing them. But they started beating them with the crosses and kept them away from the parade grounds. So that being said, and watching the escalation throughout the year, I think they canceled the 68 pass and review. But be that as it may, they went off pretty well by and large, as I recall. Then the next parade I was in was at McGuire Air Force Base for a change of command for the wing commander. Only I was the guy that had to walk like the real stiff guy that had to walk out and give the commands to start the parade and everything else. That was an adventure. I'd never done that before, nor had I walked like a goose. But it came off okay, I guess. I'm no worse for the wear, I suppose. The last parade I was in the Air Force was in 1976, I believe. It was a change of command for the wing commander at Vance, and that was a clown show. Like I indicated, putting pilots together in a squadron to march is critical mass. And we had 3 squadrons represented: the 71st Student Squadron, the 8th Flying Training Squadron, and my squadron that I was in, the 25th Flying Training Squadron. Jerry Hodson was our ops officer at that time, and he was a great guy. I just loved working for Jerry. He was a great ops officer, and then later I went to work for him down in San Antonio at Flight Safety. But he'd been given the task of being the guy in charge of the parade, and I think it aged him. Like I indicated, it would be like herding cats out there. And I remember it was hot as hell in Oklahoma that year. And we're all out there. We would knock off flying about noon and then muster on the parade grounds at 1 o'clock or something like that. And we would form up and they go through everything. And so we're standing out there in the parade grounds and trying to get everything together. And then they'd form us up and the parade would begin and off we'd go. And I remember Jerry sitting up in the bleachers just shaking his head going, "Oh God, why me? Why do you hate me?" as we tried to march through. And we had practice for 2 days. I think the parade was like on a Friday. We had practice on Monday and Tuesday. It was so bad they decided to have another one on Thursday to practice. at any rate, Thursday we got out there, and we're starting to get a little bit better. We're starting to figure it out. Now, the wing commander was a cute little fella. He had just gotten promoted, just got his first star, and he was going on to bigger and better things. Okay, good. Go have a nice career. Earlier in the year, we had a pair of F-106s come in for a student's graduation. One of the students was going back to their unit. So they brought in these two F-106s and a T-Bird, a T-33. And Friday night, they gave him his orange flight suit at the bar and then made him eat a raw egg. That was something to behold. And I mentioned that here in a previous video. At any rate, when they left on Sunday morning, they took off, and these two F-106s took off, and then the T-Bird followed. And instead of just departing on their way, they came around the airfield, and they came across the deck going speed of heat. I mean, they were just smoking, and it rattled the base. I mean, the F-106 had a nice engine, and it just rattled the base early Sunday morning. Kaboom! They came across, and then up they went. First 106, second 106, and then the T-33 came by, going as fast as he could, and it was pitiful, but he did okay, and he went up. Well, the wing commander, the same cute little fella, was pissed off about that, so he called the wing commander out at, I think they might have been out at Hamilton, if I remember right, and started lodging a complaint with their wing commander, and their wing commander, who is this? What'd they do? Oh, give me a break, and he hung up on him. At any rate, need to give you that background. So on Thursday we're out there, and it's all starting to come together, and we're just about ready to start the marching part, and here comes a T-38 perpendicular to the runway at maybe 300 feet, maybe 200, 300 feet, just coming speed of heat across us. We didn't see it coming because it came from the backside, and then he pulls up. Well, it's the cute little fella. He rolls off, comes in, and lands. Okay, now to give you a little bit more background for this parade, the same cute little fella was out at the runway one day. General Roberts, our four-star head of Air Training Command, had been to the base to visit, and he was just out there getting ready to go, and on 17 Center. So he's sitting out there and just kind of taking it all in. Well, we had traffic coming in, and cute little fella didn't think the four-star should wait. Well, as it turns out, word came back to us that he didn't mind at all. He was just kind of enjoying watching the operation for a change, instead of having to go from here to there to here, so forth. And General Roberts was a pilot's pilot, by the way. He was a real good guy to work for him. Okay, so our cute little fella calls over to the RSU and finds out who was in it. Well, it was a first lieutenant controller. And as soon as Roberts left, the wing commander called in Stanival and said, okay, effective immediately, no more first lieutenant controllers. They don't know what they're doing. He was annoyed that the first lieutenant in the RSU didn't stop traffic to allow General Roberts to depart. Okay, thanks for bearing with me. I had to give you that background. So anyway, we're standing out there, and they're going through the drill of the parade, as they typically do. And during the parade, at a certain point, there's a part where the adjutant calls out, persons to be decorated. And some book in the mist behind me, in the midst of our ranks, yells out, all first lieutenant controllers. Oh, geez, we just all cracked up at that point. But anyway, off we went. And that Thursday, after the practice, we all ended up over at the bowling alley, because that's the only place you could get beer that early in the day. And Colonel Hodson came in, he's just shaking his head with that all first lieutenant controllers call. He's, don't you guys do that. Don't you even think about doing that. But it came off without a hitch. And thank goodness. That's one of the last, if not the last parade I was in. But be that as it may, it was, like I said, it was a great feeling to see that Army parade, and congratulations, you done good. One last thought came to mind. If the Air Force pulls off a parade on their 250th anniversary, that'd be in the year 2197. I don't think I'm going to make it, but my heart will be with you guys. That being said, this is Bobo. Great to see everybody today. Base gear, stop.